Now what a spectacle is this?
How to beat Midir is here. Welcome Slayers to another boss tutorial. The series where not only you learn how to beat bosses but also beat them convincingly. As you already noticed, this time around we're going for Midir, one of my favorite big boys, and a pretty fun one too. Anyways, get your weapons ready. We're slaying this boss today. As established already, Midir is a big boy, and with being a big boy comes big hitboxes. Compared to other bosses, Midir's moveset is not that scary, and this is to his moves being pretty well telegraphed. But what he lacks on low telegraph moves, he makes it up on big attacks and laser blasts that goes all over the place. With that said, what's going to make difference in your fights is where do you move to, roll, or position yourself when an attack is about to happen or is undergoing so you don't get caught in them. I'll say this just now in case it's not obvious to everyone. The spot you want to hit Midir at all time is in his head because it's where you hit the hardest. Since that's the spot we're going to be attacking 100% of the time, all of our actions, whether it be rolling or repositioning, will happen in front of him so we can get the best results. So let's talk moves. Before tackling them, here are the list of moves you'll encounter. I'll leave a video in the description showcasing all of the moves so you get to know them better. The nice thing about this boss is that second phase doesn't become that much threatening since the added moves are just a few, and those few are just a bit harder versions of phase 1 plus a couple new moves. Let's start with the combos. Midir has a 6, a 4, a couple of 3s, and 2 hit moves. Starting from the least, his 2 hit is a double sweep and my personal favorite move to punish. Midir will step back a bit and look towards the direction the first swipe will go towards. The moment to roll will be when the sweep initiates. You'll see him lift his claw, and as soon as it's done peeking, you initiate your roll so you avoid the first hit. The second hit goes in similar fashion. His head goes back to the center after the double sweep, so it's a good idea to wait for it and punish when it goes back. In this first 3-hit combo, Midir attempts to bite twice into a sweeping fire breath. The tell for this is Midir leaning back into a cat pose. The first attack will be deliberate to catch your panic rolls, so don't roll early. The moment to roll will be around this part of the animation. Roll again to dodge the second bite and run to the right side to avoid the fire breath attack. If you're close, you can punish 2 to 3 times before he can attack again. Midir's second 3-hit combo is 2 overheads into a fire breath attack. You'll see Midir get up in 2 legs and reach out towards you to do an overhead back to back, starting with his left claw. After that, Midir will end with a fire breath attack in a straight line. Once you dodge both overheads successfully, proceed to run towards your left side to avoid the incoming fire breath attack. I'm not completely sure if you can go to your right as well. If you guys try it, let me know in the comments. Sharing is caring after all. His third 3-hit combo starts with an overhead from Midir's right side. He does a slight pause and then proceeds to do a swipe into a backhand. At the end of the combo, Midir will leave his head slightly tilted in the same spot where the backhand ended, so it's a good idea to roll in the same direction of the backhand to end closer to Midir's head for a punish. The tell for this is pretty similar to the double overhead, but the difference here is that it starts on the right side instead of the left, so have that in mind. Midir's 4-hit combo is the mix-up version of the double overhead into a fire breath. The difference here is that after the double head, Midir will pause for a second and then end it with a swipe into a backhand, as opposed to the other combo where you'll see Midir's mouth in flames before the fire breath happens. The tell for this is the same as the other double overhead combo. The way you punish it is actually the same way you would do for the previous combo that we talked about. Just roll in the direction of the backhand and punish. For the 6-hit combo, Midir will take 2 steps back and initiate with an overhead from the right side. The rest of the combo goes as follows. In case you're wondering, flam is a musical term. It just means 2 strikes done almost simultaneously. Remember it in case I use it in future tutorials. The tell for this combo is Midir doing 2 steps back into an overhead. This is the only combo that starts like this, and it is not to be confused with a 3-hit combo that starts in a similar fashion, since in that combo, Midir doesn't step back before the overhead. Once the combo ends, Midir's head will remain around the center. You'll have a window for punish if your last roll ends up around his head. The last combo-esque move is his Rampage. Midir will take a couple of steps back, the mouth will light up on fire, and the attack commences. The tell is basically basically that. Once he starts the move, immediately run to the side that's closest to you and get past him. Once you get past Midir, work your way back to Midir and be careful with the tail, since the tail has a hitbox at the end of the move. This Rampage is just Midir moving from point A to point B, so if you get out of his way, you'll be fine. And if you do it correctly, you won't have to roll. Just remember not to get out of the way of the like and subscribe button to support this channel. Remember that by liking and subscribing, it helps the video reach other players in need of this tutorial. And at the same time, it helps this channel grow, which allows me to continue providing future tutorials. Every little bit counts, so your support is super appreciated. Now, there's more moves to talk about, but I would like to take a moment to mention that a video of all the moves will be in the pinned comment as well as in the description. Also, check the videos of me fighting Midir with multiple weapons for reference, so you know how to approach it better. And lastly, I will have a video where I explain the fight as I'm doing it so you get a better idea on how to deal with Midir. It's more like an extension of this video. Enjoy. Now with combos out of the way, we have Tail Swipe, Grab Attack, Double Fire Breath, Aerial Fire Breath, Dark Beam, Dash Attack, Overhead Slam, and Downward Fire Breath. The Tail Swipe only occurs when you are behind Midir. The tail will be when you see Midir curl his tail. The grab attack starts with a roar. The tail for the grab is the roar itself, and the moment to roll will be after his head is leveled with your body. For the double fire breath, you can run to the sides to avoid the first one and then run in diagonally to avoid the second. The tail will be Midir squaring up in preparation for the attack. For the aerial fire breath, Midir will take flight. Since Midir has a sidestep and a move that starts in a similar way, the real tell for this is going to be when you see Midir's mouth on fire while in the air. Once you see that, run to his right side to avoid the flames. For the dark beam attack, move to Midir's right side, and when the beam has passed you, proceed to get close to him to avoid the rest. For the dash attack, Midir will square up and lean back, then lunge himself forward. The timing for rolling depends on your distance. If you're close or mid-range, time your roll with the start of Midir's dash. If you're far, roll after. The overhead slam happens mainly when you are mid-far from him. It's pretty telegraphed, so you'll have time to dodge it. The tail looks like this. And the downward fire breath. It mainly occurs when you're under Midir. He'll get up in two legs and lay fire under him. Just space it out and you'll be fine. Phase 2 only has a couple of new moves. The important thing here will be how you deal with Midir's projectiles. If the projectile goes high up, then you go under and roll the last projectiles that might hit you. If the projectile stays low, then run to either side and circle around them towards the front. If done correctly, there won't be any need to roll. Have in mind that after avoiding this one, Midir will attempt to hit you, so be aware of what he'll do. Second phase will initiate with a dark explosion. Once you see Midir gathering dark energy, space him out and you'll be fine. Mass Affinity is the move where the projectiles will go high up before chasing you. You already know the drill for this. Focus Dark Beam is a charged version of Dark Beam. You can treat it the same way, but once you reach Midir, move towards his left, like so. And lastly, overhead into Mass Affinity. It's the same overhead I spoke earlier, but with Mass Affinity. This time, the projectile stays low, so run to the sides and circle around like I mentioned before. Midir also has the double overhead version of this. It's the same version of the double overhead to fire breath that we spoke in the beginning, but instead of the fire breath, Midir does Mass Affinity. Okay, so to recap, position yourself in front of Midir at all times to have the best outcome for dealing and avoiding damage. When Rampage starts, immediately run towards either side to avoid hits, and every move except for the affinity versions can be punished safely at least once. 2 is good too, 3 is risky. So yeah, that's it. This is how I beat Midir without getting hit. Guys, if this video was helpful to you, slay the like and subscribe button to support this channel. Remember that all videos related to this tutorial will be in the pinned comments as well as in the description. This is it for me. I hope the best for you in your fights, so play safe, be safe, and as always, keep on slaying. Don't kill me, that was so perfect, dude. That was so good, dude. I gotta win this.